So here we go, this is my first narrated video. I don't like the sound of my own voice, let's see if you guys like it any better. Hopefully you'll like the video, if not. This is a special project for my mum. She wanted the most awkward secret bookcase door project doing that you could possibly imagine. Now, we're using standard OSB as the backing for this. We're hoping to shade it and dapple it because we haven't got much depth to work with because of that adjacent wall and the opening angle. So we're just cutting the OSB to size. Jigsaw blade was bent, so ended up finishing it off by hand and then smoothing down the edges with a hand plane. Nice sharp hand plane, just comes off like sawdust when it's OSB or chipboard. Now, painted it black. We're going to sand it back down and then stain it with the rest of the wood. The rest of the wood that we're using is just standard pine, apart from a little bit of cladding on the bottom. Now, our door frame is one of these newfangled egg carton cardboard things. It's got a solid wood frame, but the rest is useless. So we pretty much had to mount the board onto it so that we could then mount everything else onto that. But you've only got about an inch to play with around the perimeter of this. So we didn't bother gluing this down, we just plunged a few screws straight into the OSB. It's not going to be taking any weight, it's just holding it in place, and the screws are going to get covered up with the edging, the pine moulding that we're using anyway. Now, one thing you're going to want is a mitre block or some way of squaring off or truing those 45-degree mitred angles. And now we're on to gluing the rest of the edging around. So you might have seen in those last couple of shots we glued this left side. The bottom, I actually trod on the bit for the bottom and snapped it, so we had to cut two bits and kind of meet them in the middle. But to be honest, it came out all right. Now, all the way through this, you're going to find that your joints aren't quite meeting up, and it's not because your angles are wrong. Your angles are probably right. It's probably the door, or a slight warp in the wood, or you've just laid it out slightly wrong. So be prepared and expect to touch up little bits. When you've got it laid out, if you just mark off the bits that are meeting prematurely, sand that away roughly at the same angle. Again, obviously it's much easier to take away more material because you go and add it on and that'll throw everything out. So take away a little bit at a time and you'll eventually get them meeting perfectly. You can, as we did, just rub a little bit of glue into any of the cracks later on. Now we're cutting the shelves. I thought this would be a really quick and easy way of doing it. Screw them all together when they're slightly oversized, cut them all roughly to the right angles, and then finish them off with a plane. Now that did not work. It took forever. So what I recommend, if you've got a bench sander or disc sander or belt sander or anything of that kind, that'll do the job. We're going to glue that shelf in place and use some tiny little metal brackets that, because of the angle, you won't see once it's mounted on the hinges anyway. For the ones above it, we've got some similarly small little brackets, but then we've got two bigger ones to go in the middle because the upper shelves will probably take a little bit more weight. My mum's bought 60 Reader's Digest books. We're going to cut them to pieces, glue them into this, and one of them, hopefully, have as a handle. Mum stole my coat, giving it a nice dark walnut stain here. And there we go, stage one finished. Stick around for the next part where we'll be making the locking, latching mechanism with some of these old books that my mum's got. If you have any ideas on how I could make this easier for myself, trust me, I have many. If I do another one, it'll go a lot smoother. But if you've got any suggestions, any recommendations, if you've done something similar, if you're looking to do something similar, if you need any advice on something, give us a shout. I know a couple of you are following this project already. Be more than happy to help. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.